morning. Thank you very much for joining us here on Times Now. This is the newspaper show and I'm Hina Gambhir, and let's get started with the Times of India. And today there is a good news and there is a sad news as well. So let's begin with the sad news this morning. First, this is about Cyclone Amphan, Super Cyclone Amphan that made the landfall yesterday, and unfortunately 12 people got killed. And this is something the Times of India today is leading with on the front page. 12 killed as savage cyclone batters Bengal at 165 kilometers per hour. Mamata Banerjee says untold devastation, 2 districts ravaged. So this is something the Times of India today is leading with, and there you can see this is how Kolkata looked like yesterday after the landfall happened. An overcast sky and a growling Hooghly river just before Amphan hit Kolkata, causing extensive damage. A monster from the bay, severe cyclonic storm Amphan, a Thai name that means sky, barreled in from the Bay of Bengal and made landfall at 2:30 p.m. in West Bengal with a peak wind speed of 165 kilometers per hour, and along with torrential rain, it battered South Bengal, North and South 24 Parganas. Districts were ravaged. At least 12 people got killed. No lives lost in Odisha till reports last came in. And also importantly, now the focus is going to shift towards the northeastern part of the country, Assam specifically, which is also expected to see heavy rain today and tomorrow. Moving on now to the good news of the day that's being reported on the front page of Times of India, and this is one news that most of you must have been waiting for since last 2 months. Well, domestic flights to resume from Monday. Bookings begin today. That's another big story that has been reported here. Airports to aim for contactless entry of flyers, and government may cap airfares. This is what Times of India is reporting. Saurabh Sinha has written this story, and Aviation Ministry looking at capping fares that airlines can charge for different routes. That could be very, very interesting as far as this news is concerned. Then on the other side, Times of India is reporting that Lodi Garden, Nehru Park to reopen today. These parks in the national capital. US slams China's disturbing behavior at India border. Indrani Bagchi has also reported on the front page in a sharp criticism of China over border tensions with India. The US on Wednesday described Beijing's actions as disturbing behavior and said that the skirmishes were a reminder of the threat China posed as it sought to use its power, whether in the South China Sea or on the borders with India. Then Supreme Court awards 7.6 crore relief to family of Mangaluru crash victim. Stanley Pinto has reported Supreme Court has enhanced the compensation awarded to the next of kin of a man who was killed when an Air India Express flight from Dubai crashed on landing in Mangaluru on 22nd May 2010 from 7.35 crore to 7.64 crore. That's another news. Tests delayed as private labs are struggling to cope. Private labs in the city offering COVID-19 tests also so stretched that some of them are giving patients 2 to 3 days time for sample collection. That's another story here. 2 new areas have been sealed in Delhi. Total number of areas sealed in Delhi now at 78. Delhi's highest single day spike was reported yesterday with 534 cases for second day in a row, viewers. Delhi has seen over 500 cases, and it is clearly a cause of concern as well. 2 BSF men killed in J&K terror attack. BSF constables Rana Mandal and Ziaul Haq, both hailing from Bengal and part of a road opening party in central Kashmir's Ganderbal district, were gunned down by a pair of motorbike-borne terrorists on Wednesday. That's another story that's reported here. Then there is a lot happening between India and Nepal as well, which is also found mentioned on the front page. In sharp reaction, India says Nepal making baseless territorial claims. Sachin Parashar has reported, not based on facts and evidence. Rao has erupted as Nepal cabinet endorsed a revised map, followed by PM KP Sharma Oli's parliament address, in which he says his government will retrieve the land from India. And this is also becoming a big news. There is another bit of relief for the people who are looking to travel via Indian Railways. From June 1st, 34 special trains to start daily from Delhi. At the Gurugram border, there was past confusion that led to certain protests. And there is an update on India's COVID count as well. New high of 5,376 cases in a day across the country that was reported. And Ghaziabad has once again become a red zone. Another important story that has been reported here. And as far as the news from the world is concerned, we'll get you more details on this in just a bit. But can't eat, hunt wildlife in Wuhan. This big decision has also been taken. We'll get you more details on this one as well. And lastly, COVID effect, home consumption drives up household grocery bills. This is what Avik Das has reported. Bill size now 1.5 times compared with pre-COVID, was bigger when the lockdown began. Perhaps people are buying more and more stuff in anticipation that there could be some sort of a shortfall of the grocery items. So that could be one of the reasons why this has gone up. And lastly, 1 crore were treated under Ayushman Bharat. Over 1 crore treatments worth 13,412 crore were provided under Ayushman Bharat health insurance scheme since its launch in September 2018. That's also another interesting update that's there on the front page. Moving on now to the Navbharat Times. और यहाँ पर अगर सबसे पहली खबर की बात करें तो जो सुपर साइक्लोन अम्पन है उसके बारे में अपडेट दिया गया है। 2 तस्वीरें दिखाई हैं जो बताती हैं कि किस तरह का इम्पैक्ट रहा लैंडफॉल के दौरान। तो यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं कि किस तरह से पेड़ टूट गए, जो इलेक्ट्रिक पोल्स थे वो भी गिर गए क्योंकि जो विंड स्पीड थी बहुत ज्यादा थी लैंडफॉल के दौरान। और ये जो आप देख सकते हैं तस्वीर, ये सैटेलाइट इमेजरी है जिसमें ये आप आई ऑफ द स्टॉर्म देख रहे हैं। और ये तब की इमेज है जब सुपर साइक्लोन का लैंडफॉल का प्रोसीजर जो है शुरू हो गया था। सुपर साइक्लोन अम्पन ने बुधवार दोपहर को पश्चिम बंगाल में दीघा पर दस्तक देकर तबाही मचाई। बताया गया कि उत्तरी 24 परगना और पूर्वी मिदनापुर जिले में 160 से 170 किलोमीटर प्रति घंटे की रफ्तार से हवाएं चली। ये आईएमडी का फोरकास्ट भी था कि 160 से 70 के आसपास की जो है विंड स्पीड रहेगी। अम्फन का बंगाल ओडिशा में कहर, 190 की रफ्तार से चली तेज हवाएं। बंगाल में 2 लोगों की मौत, कच्चे मकानों को हुआ नुकसान, राहत का काम भी जारी। 5 मीटर तक ऊंची लहरें उठी, बस्तियों में भी भरा पानी। तो जितने भी लो लाइंग एरियाज थे उनमें फ्लडिंग नजर आई। इसके अलावा जो ये डोमेस्टिक एविएशन सेक्टर एक बार फिर से खुल रहा है उसकी भी बात की है। लॉकडाउन लैंडिंग की ओर, 25 से देश में हवाई सफर, इंटरनेशनल उड़ानों पर फैसला जल्द होने की उम्मीद है। और दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट ने केंद्र और दिल्ली सरकार को निर्देश दिया है कि मेट्रो राजधानी की लाइफलाइन है, चलाने की संभावना फौरन देखे सरकार। क्योंकि देखा जाए तो रेलवेज का ऑपरेशन शुरू होने वाला है, डोमेस्टिक फ्लाइट शुरू हो जाएंगी मंडे से, लेकिन मेट्रो जो दिल्ली के लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है वो अभी तक शुरू नहीं हुई है। तो दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट ने कहा है केंद्र और दिल्ली सरकार को कि इसको भी शुरू करने के बारे में विचार किया जाए, मेट्रो सर्विसेज को। और ऑड इवन बिना ही खुल रहे हैं दिल्ली के बाजार, ये भी एक बड़ी खबर है यहां पर दिखाई है। देश में मिले रिकॉर्ड मरीज, दिल्ली में भी, लेकिन डबल होने में ज्यादा वक्त लग रहा है। तो ये कुछ अच्छी खबर भी आ रही है कि डबलिंग टाइम इंडिया का बढ़ता चला जा रहा है। और साथ ही यूएस प्रेसिडेंट डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने एक अजीबोगरीब बयान दिया है। सबसे ज्यादा मरीज, ट्रंप बोले सम्मान की बात। अमेरिका के राष्ट्रपति डोनाल्ड ट्रंप ने कोरोना महामारी को लेकर अजीबोगरीब बयान दिया है। उन्होंने कहा है कि जब कोई कहता है कि अमेरिका में सबसे ज्यादा केस हैं तो मैं इसे बुरा नहीं मानता। इसका मतलब है कि हमने अन्य देशों से कई ज्यादा टेस्टिंग की है जिसकी वजह से ज्यादा केसेस निकल के आ रहे हैं। सो दिस इज हिज पर्सपेक्टिव दैट ही हैज मेंशन्ड हियर। एंड लास्टली एक खबर और भी है इंपॉर्टेंट कर्नाटका से। दोपहर करीब 5 सेकंड तक गूंजती रही तेज आवाज, लोगों में हड़कंप मच गया। धमाकों से गूंजा बेंगलुरु, लेकिन पता नहीं चला कि आवाज आई कहां से। दरवाजे और शीशे तक वहां पर लोगों के जो है हिलने लग गए थे। तो ये एक और खबर यहां पर फ्रंट पेज पे नवभारत टाइम्स ने रिपोर्ट की है। मूविंग ऑन नाउ टू द पिंक पेपर, द इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स, एंड द स्टोरी दैट द इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स दिस मॉर्निंग इज लीडिंग विद इज द डिसीजंस दैट द कैबिनेट हैड टेकन yesterday. Cabinet okays key part of COVID relief package. 7 elements okayed. All 54 may not need the nod of the cabinet. The cabinet approved key parts of the 20 lakh crore COVID-19 relief package announced recently, including interest rate caps for credit to micro, small and medium enterprises under the 3 lakh crore credit guarantee scheme. Remember, when this decision was taken by the government, the credit line to MSME that was given of 3 lakh crore rupees loan guarantee for MSMEs, the question that time was that what is going to be the interest rate. There was no clarity on that. So that has come today. Interest rates capped at 9.25% for banks and 14% for NBFCs. That's the big news that is here. Apart from this, a couple of details about the other big decisions that were taken by the cabinet. Then Arijit Burman has reported that Jio platforms may get up to $1 billion from KKR. Reliance Industries has raised over 67,000 crore already in the last 4 weeks. Talks on with Saudi Sovereign Fund PIF, UAE's. That is also another important story here. And then domestic airlines to resume operations from Monday on the front page only of the Times of India. Ola fires 1,400, says revenues plunged 95% in 2 months. Layoffs across levels in mobility business, Ola Foods and Ola Financial Services. Trimming headcount in the times of COVID. TCS brass salaries decline in FY20. CEO pay fall 16.5%. This is what Anandi Chandrasekhar has reported. And there is some good news as well as far as the issue of salaries is concerned. HCL Tech has decided that there are going to be no pay cuts. That's also on the front page. Saurabhi Agarwal and Ayan Parmanik have reported no pay cut at HCL Tech. Company to give bonuses as well. HCL Tech will not cut salaries of its 1,50,000 staff and will also pay bonuses for last year. The firm had earlier said that it would honor job offers made to freshers as well. So, well, there is some bit of good news as well. Vedanta Resources raising $2.5 billion to fund Delhi, India delisting. That's another story. And lastly, Ladakh standoff, new road thorn in China's flesh. This is what Manu Pabi has reported on the front page. And before we quickly move on to the Delhi edition of the Times of India, ET Graphics has made this very interesting graphic here, which tells you that how after the government announced this package of over 20 lakh crore rupees, various rating agencies and analysts have slashed India's GDP forecast further. Yes, ICRA estimate is now -5%, Goldman Sachs -5%, Nomura -5%, CARE rating -5 to 1.6%. So people, it seems, analysts are not very impressed with the package, and that's why we have seen a cut in the GDP forecast for the current financial year. So that was about the pink paper, the Economic Times. Let's now be more specific as far as various cities are concerned. Talking about Delhi first, Sherin, my colleague, is joining us on the broadcast for more on this. Sherin, Delhi's highest single day spike there with 534 cases, second day in a row over 500 cases being reported in Delhi.
Yes, Hina, that is right. In past 24 hours, we have seen almost 500 positive cases, and this is happening on a second consecutive day. So it is something to worry about, but the Delhi government maintains that the recovery rate is also improving because the cases have gone above 10,000. At the same time, the recovery rate is also above 5,000, which is around 45%. So they have been saying that there is in fact a good number of recovery rate, and that is something that they consider as positive. At the same time, there is number of relaxation that they have put forth. So slowly the situation in the national capital is coming back into normalcy. More tests and surveillance are being done on a daily basis. Contact tracing is done by each of the municipal corporation that is being suggested to them by the Delhi government. So the Delhi government believes that the number is increasing because more and more tests is happening. At the same time, the recovery rate is also high, and there is nothing to worry about. Also, the Chief Minister maintains that lockdown cannot be the permanent solution, and hence he has come up with these relaxations in line with the MHA and says that we have to live with COVID-19.
Okay.
So situation is slowly, today is the third day since Delhi government has announced the guideline. There are some sort of confusion in some marketplaces, but largely we are seeing that there are large movement, there are life is coming back to normal in the national capital.
All right. Thank you very much, Sharon, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. We are now moving on to the Bengaluru edition of the Times of India. My colleague Deepak Bopana joining us on the broadcast for more on this. Deepak, good morning. So on the front page, there is some detail about the blast that was, witnessed yesterday. Can you give us more details? It says afternoon boom, no blast or thunder. It was actually a fighter jet.
Yes, Ina, good morning. And yesterday, of course, Bengalurians completely through the second half of the day were down to finding out what was that boom sound that was heard at around 1:20. I was at MG Road. I heard it, and my phone was flooded with messages from all over, from people all over Bengaluru. First, of course, the disaster management said it was not a quake. Then the HAL said it was not their craft. The IAF, of course, was not really saying anything till late evening, and finally it was confirmed that it was a Sukhoi 30 that was training in the outskirts of the city that went supersonic, breaking the sound barrier that really created this huge sound. And they say that usually this is done outside the city limits, and this sound can be heard to a radius of about 80 kilometers, and that's what probably Bengaloreans heard yesterday.
All right, Deepak, appreciate you joining us with all of those details. We are now moving on to the Mumbai edition of the Times of India. Arunil, my colleague, is joining us on the broadcast, and the big story that's there on the front page is about how the COVID count in Maharashtra is increasing every single day. Maharashtra adds 2,250 cases and 65 deaths, and Mumbai specifically added 1,372 cases and 41 deaths. This is another story here that has been reported. BMC Commissioner Iqbal Singh Chahal on Wednesday has asked ward officers to file police case against general practitioners and nursing homes and polyclinics that fail to stay open to handle regular patients who otherwise head to overloaded civic hospitals. So that is the big story. Let's try and go back to Arunil. Arunil.
Well, this was on the expected lines, Hina, because the BMC Commissioner Iqbal Chahal had met the private hospitals owners, and that is when the decision was made that private hospitals will be undertaken by the BMC. There is a very big shortage of hospital beds in the city of Mumbai, with rising number of cases every day. Every day we have been seeing close to or more than 1,400 cases being reported in the city of Mumbai. So now it has been decided that from every ward, one big private hospital will be undertaken by the BMC. Around 100 beds will be undertaken by the BMC, and around 10 ICU beds from the hospital will be utilized for COVID patients. So we can expect that this particular move can help the BMC as well as the city of Mumbai in catering to the rising demand of hospital beds because of the rising cases of COVID-19 infection as well. About the private doctors, yes, the BMC has warned private doctors, saying that if you don't report to work, if you don't open your clinics, you face an FIR, because more and more number of people who suffer from other ailments, they should not be going to the hospitals to avoid the infection of coronavirus. Because of that, this decision is taken.
Thank you very much, Arunil, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. We are now moving on to the Chennai edition of the Times of India, and the big story that is there on the front page is how TN virus count touches 13,191. It's increasing sharply. New testing plan for Chennai is what the government is now considering, because Chennai has recorded 557 cases in just one day. In just 24 hours, 557 cases were reported, and 5,376 cases were witnessed in the country as well over 24 hours. Let's go across to Shabir, who's joining us live right now. Shabir, good morning. What is this new testing plan for Chennai that's being considered?
Well, aggressive testing plan is being, the strategy is being planned for Chennai for particular areas. As far as Chennai is concerned, despite preventive measures, inside the containment zones, there have been more and more COVID-19 positive cases that are being reported, particularly from few zones. Areas like Royapuram, which is densely populated, Tirvikanagar, Puliantop, these are the areas that are reporting maximum number of cases, and now the health department is going in for aggressive testing. They want to test the entire area. In fact, they have had multiple strategies to contain the spread of COVID-19 in those areas, but the spread is rapid and it's massive, and that is a cause of concern for the health department officials. Even as the number reaches 13,000 cases all across the state, as far as Chennai is concerned, still health department officials are unable to control the prevent of COVID-19 in certain pockets, and that is also directly linked with the Coimbatore cluster and the Tablighi Jamaat cluster. So still the health department officials are finding it very difficult to contain the spread of COVID-19 in densely populated area, and that is why they have come up with a new strategy now.
All right. Thank you very much, Shabir, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. We're now moving on and let's get our viewers the latest from around the world. And China's new outbreak shows signs virus may be changing. Patients in new cluster take longer to show symptoms or recover. That's the big story that you can find here. Wuhan bans consumption of all wild animals. Big decision has been taken there. Another big story. China's incompetence led to mass worldwide killing. This is what US President Donald Trump has said, and New Zealand's president has suggested 4-day work week to rebuild New Zealand post-COVID. Viral Briefs also has got another story. Man sentenced to death via a Zoom call, and there is a report indicating that Oscars this year may be postponed. And then there are a few stories that you shouldn't miss. Antarctica is turning green, and there is this image as well on this page. Antarctica conjures images of an unbroken white wilderness, but blooms of algae are giving parts of the frozen continent an increasingly green tinge. Rising temperatures due to climate change are helping the formation and spread of green snow, and is becoming so prolific in places that it is even visible from space. So this is a big story. And apart from this, China must try to coexist with Taiwan. This is also something that has been reported. Johnson & Johnson won't sell baby talc in North America. Big decision has been taken by this big company. Moving on now to the world of sports. My colleague Karishma is joining us in the broadcast right now. Karishma, good morning. This is the news about legendary Aussie opener Matthew Hayden, who says that if players are virus-free, allow saliva and sweat on ball.
Well, yes, absolutely, Hina. This has been a big talking point in the past few days, that whether saliva should be permitted to shine the ball for the bowlers or not. And in fact, the ICC-led cricket committee that is led by former India cricketer Anil Kumble and former India coach as well, who said recommended to the ICC Chief Executives Committee that saliva should be banned, because as per the ICC Medical Advisory Committee, transmission of COVID-19 virus through saliva is very, very possible and very, very easy, and that is why ICC has banned the use of saliva on cricket balls to for bowlers to shine the ball. This is a recommendation that will go for approval in June, but this is almost a done deal that saliva will be banned, even if it means for temporary right now for the bowlers, because ICC is of the opinion that safety and health of the cricketers comes first, and saliva, as per the ICC Medical Board, is very, very possible for transmission of COVID-19 virus. But many former cricketers, not just Matthew Hayden, but there's Harbhajan Singh also, who has said that it will take practice to get used to not use saliva on the ball.
All right. Thank you very much, Karishma, for the moment, for joining us with all of those details. We're now moving on to the Delhi Times page of the Times of India, and there are very interesting stories that you can find on this page today. One update is about Swara Bhaskar, who drives from Mumbai to Delhi after her mother fractures shoulder. So this is the big story here that you can find. Then there is an update about Pooja Bedish, who says we didn't use any influence to travel to Goa, and Salman Khan visits Mumbai for a day. And lastly, it shows that mythological shows have been ruling Indian TV in the lockdown. A lot of people have been watching it. There has been a surge in TRPs, at least for these kind of shows like Ramayana and Mahabharat, which have come back. With this, it's a wrap. Thank you very much for staying with us here on the newspaper show.